Tanul Singh is a BTech in mechanical engineering, and after finishing his mechanical engineering studies, he immediately got a job as a data scientist. Right now, he's working as a machine learning engineer solving problems in NLP domain. In this video, we are going to describe how he used Kaggle to get his first data science job. Although he was from mechanical engineering background, he did not have any data science or computer science degree, and he utilized Kaggle as a platform. So we will learn a lot of useful tips around Kaggle platform. We'll discuss his whole career transition journey. Let's get started. Tanu, let's talk about your current work as an NLP engineer. What are some of the projects you're working on?
Uh, Thank you, Dhawal. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me here, and I feel very good to be here and speaking. And currently, I'm working as an NLP engineer at Javis, and my day-to-day job includes mostly working on cutting-edge NLP problems, basically in natural language generation and natural language entity linking, natural language information extraction, etc. And one of the very cool systems that we have built is a chatbot for a B2B setup, in wherein we provide our services to retailers and all the businesses. And what it basically does is it helps the retailers and all the businesses to uh, share and receive information at ease. So previously, if someone from a retailer side or someone working under a retailer, let's say a sales
Mhm.
agent, to get an information would have to go through calling the retailer or its manager, etc. But herein they can just come to the chatbot and ask the question, and their issues get resolved on the spot. That is something that our product at Javis is trying to disrupt things.
Mm.
Yeah. So that is one of the projects. We also do computer vision problems wherein we solve uh, parsing of bills and other things. Apart from that, we also have a data science team which work in different domains, kind of in pharma sector. But the whole startup is trying to work at a business level on.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, you have a mechanical engineer background. Let's talk about your story of becoming ML engineer from mechanical background. Often people have self-doubts. They're like, oh, I'm a mechanical engineer. How can I go into data science? So you probably have gone through that struggle as well. So
Yeah.
let's talk about your journey.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, like the self-doubt is really kind of always can bring you down. And that is something you have to get rid of. So my journey is kind of really exciting because so I started my machine learning. I got to know about machine learning in my second year. I started it in second year, lost hope and threw it away. Then again, I started again in third year, did the same thing, and uh, ended up throwing it away again. But then I decided that I'll focus on my mechanical engineering and get a job. Finally, I got a job in Hero Motocorp, and thereafter I thought I'm not someone who wants a plant job. I'm not someone who wants to live that life, and I am someone who is interested in computer science, especially data science. So I started doing it, and it was December 2019, which was a big break for me because I was relieved from everything, and I already had a job. So I started data science again. At that time, I was only familiar with tabular data, and I did not know anything about other stuff. I was very good at bringing insights from data, doing exploratory data analysis, and I had kind of this knack of getting things from data, and you can say that I love to make the data talk. So that was something. But I was very afraid of Kaggle, and being from a mechanical engineer, this thought always pulls you down that uh, this is not for you. You won't do good in it. But the major break in my journey was so I was on Telegram. I had very good community groups which I joined, and I was building relationship. And I found out about Kaggle Days community, and that community was holding a meetup in Delhi, and I was in Kanpur, and that meetup was free. And Abhishek Thakur, who is a Kaggle 4x grandmaster, was visiting there in person. I thought, what great opportunity could I get from here? So I just went to that meetup, and I had an interaction with Abhishek. I was overwhelmed, and I asked him that how to start Kaggle. It is so scary, and I just lose hope even after just seeing the website. So he just answered it in one phrase. Everything has a tough start. Like walking into a dark room is also something which people are afraid of, but you have to start somewhere. And that line was really life changing for me. I came back, I started doing Kaggle, I started visiting live competition. I thought that I knew only EDA, so I'll do only EDA. And from there, I started, growing, learning from every competition, learning every day. So Kaggle has these 3 months kind of a time frame for a competition, which is, for me, I think a very long time to learn anything. So my strategy at that time was to get into a competition, write a notebook that just shows the data, do EDA, and then learn from everyone else who is, participating in the competition. So, and that was like the main changing point. And I have grown. I got my first job in August, and then I'm here as an NLP engineer. So that was a gist.
Very good, very good. That's very inspiring. It kind of shows the importance of Kaggle in building a data science career. So if I summarize whatever you just said, you are doing a regular mechanical engineering job, and
Yeah.
while doing that job, did you study data science and Kaggle while doing the job, or you
No,
left and
no.
you had
Actually, I was placed, but I was in my final year, so
hmm,
I did not start my job at that time.
hmm,
And then Corona hit, and we were at home, and there was nothing better to do. What? And I had so much time, so it was all Kaggle, Kaggle, Kaggle before even joining the job. And I landed my first data science job before even joining Hero. So that was a big,
Oh, nice. So you are in college, mechanical engineering last
yeah,
year, and
yeah,
pandemic you are home. You are just doing competitions on Kaggle,
yep,
and you directly get a job. Now that's so inspiring because
yeah,
many times mechanical engineers, especially, they tell me that we don't have computer science degree. How can we get a job? But here you are a mechanical engineer. You don't have any data science degree. Just based on your Kaggle performance, you get this job. Is that correct?
yeah. Based on my Kaggle performance and few of the personal projects that I had built at that time.
Hmm.
So basically, what I thought in my mind is I am growing and I'm learning by each day,
Hmm.
and I am having a lot of time. So what I can do is just instead of just doing Kaggle competitions, I can also start building some cool projects along the side so that I can showcase them. So I built three very good projects along with my Kaggle, and that really helped me to get my first job.
How do you get project ideas? You just Google internet.
No, actually, so it was really nice to get that project idea. So I had learned about T5 transformer again, watching from Abhishek's channel itself, and I knew that it works on text to text data. And I always had this idea ki, can I have a model uh, that can joke with me in Hindi. So I started with that idea that I'll get a model which given a starting few words, completes it to get a joke for me in
Hmm.
Hindi. But
Hmm.
I could not find any Hindi data sets at that time. So then I shifted to English. I scraped jokes from Reddit and then trained a model.
Hmm.
And now that model, when given a starting few words, it completes it in a joke, and they are very funny at times.
Wow, amazing. That's interesting. You have a chatbot, so if you're getting bored, just talk with the chatbot, and that bot will make you laugh. Amazing.
Yeah.
This is like a real project. Nice. In your mechanical engineer to ML engineer journey, did you face any hurdles, any problems, especially because of your mechanical engineering background? Like when you go to interview, does interviewer give you hard time, and do they ask you like, okay, you're from mechanical, and how are you going to do this job? Have you faced those kind of situations?
So that is a very, very good question. First, I'll just say the hurdles, and then I'll talk about the interview part. So coming to the hurdles, the main hurdle was for any mechanical engineer or for any person coming from a non-CS background is the coding. So
Hmm.
for data science, you really need very good skills in Python, right?
Hmm.
And you need to think in that kind of a coding mind frame if you are going to crack this. So at my start, when I started in March, the main problem with me was that it was not that I was not able to think. I was able to think very good things, but I was
Hmm.
not able to materialize it into a code form. So that
Hmm.
was really irritating because every time I had a very good idea, I was not able to implement it. So the main hurdle was to learn Python in that great way. And then I started, strengthening my Python skills. And after 2 months, I was able to implement almost anything I thought of. So there my thing changed. Like my Python skill set was really good at that time. And coming to the interviews, so given my interviews, so within 3 months of me starting Kaggle, I had won 2 silver medals.
Hmm.
So whenever I got into an interview and they asked me, you are from a mechanical background, I used to tell them this story that I started this at this time, and I got into this, I learned Python, and now I have 2 medals. They were, very inspired from that only. They
Hmm.
never complained that you're from a mechanical background or something. They were just, they felt good about it that this kid has done so. But yeah, I was grilled down on my projects and my Kaggle medals. I was asked in very depth, and at the start, I was, very. Uh, I did not have so much knowledge about ML algorithms, but as time progressed and I gave more interviews, I got good at it. So
You made
interviewers
a
didn't. Yeah, so
Go ahead.
interviewers didn't give me a hard time about coming from a mechanical background, but they did give me a hard time asking very good questions.
And that's kind of expected, like they will
Yeah.
ask you a difficult question. You made a very good point actually. Now that I think about it, if you are coming from mechanical or non-computer science background, and if you have a good performance on Kaggle, what it shows is that this person is very sincere. They care about the data science career. So actually, it makes a very positive impression. If you're from computer science student, that's what you are expected to do. But if you're a mechanical engineer, you are going out of your way, out of your domain, and learning these additional things on your own. So it shows a lot of self drive, and that puts a very, very positive impression on interviewers' mind. You agree with that?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. That may be the case that has held me, in the start of my journey.
Hmm. Now, if someone is a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, there are so many people who ask me this question that we are not from computer science background, we are not getting interview calls.
Mhm.
Some people are very negative. They say, if you don't have computer science background, you don't even get an interview call. Here you are, you directly got hired as an ML engineer. So
Yeah.
for those folks, what are the three concrete steps that they can take? In your opinion, what are the two or three concrete steps they can take right now?
The first step that I would start with is mitigating that self-doubt that you won't get an interview if you are a mechanical engineer, if you are not non-CS background. I've known so many people who are not from a non-CS background, and they have got job interviews. And the second, so this was, let's say, this was the preliminary step. The first step which I would suggest to anyone who is starting with data science or even coming from a non-CS background is to master your programming skills first, because Python always comes first. And so you are a mechanical engineer, you already will lack data structures and algorithms and all sorts of that knowledge, right? So what you can counter that with is your Python skills, that you can showcase that whatever I can think, I will be able to implement it. It won't be that efficient as that of a coder, but I will be able to I will be able to implement it with brute force, and then I can Google to improve its efficiency. So at least you should have that level of confidence in Python. That would be the very first step. So at least gain an intermediate level of Python experience, building some Python projects in the start. That is also fine if you just do Python projects. And then once you have good knowledge in Python, the second thing I would always suggest people to go for Kaggle courses, or Kaggle learn courses. They're very good. Uh, they will get you started with data science, and from there, you should not be afraid to join Kaggle. So what I always suggest everyone is, you can, people ask me where do I start Kaggle. So I always suggest go for the notebooks.
Hmm.
uh, go go to the live competition, see the data, start a new notebook, and do anything you can with the data according to your current skill set. Let's say you have skill set A at that time, and you only know how to plot images. Just do that and do nothing else, and just do that and publish your notebook. Then go and read others notebook, take their code, change few things, play with it, and add it in your notebook. Do that again, repeat the process until you start learning new things. And the idea should be that I need to learn new things, that's why I am doing this. And then you can go into the discussion forums, learn about the competition, learn what grandmasters are doing, and then you can start participating in that as well. So the first step is always notebooks, and getting out there. People are afraid of even getting out there, so I appeal the second concrete step is to get out there and at least showcase yourself uh, with regard to your current skill set. You do not need to be a pro in the first day. And the third and the most important step would be to not lose hope, and to do competitions very sincerely. Like, if you are spending 3 months to a certain thing, you will be good at it, right?
Hmm.
So if you started with the EDA as in my second step, you already know about that competition, what it is talking about, what kind of data you have, and all sorts of that stuff. Now, coming on to the third step, you now only have to build good solution, right?
Hmm.
And even if you just are able to understand the solution shared in public notebooks, and then after the competition ends, you are able to understand the winning solution, that also takes you uh, much far ahead than you were 3 months before, right? So that is something, a really important third step, that you go into the competition with a very sincere mind in order to learn, and
Mhm.
not just because I'm going into the competition, I need a medal and then I'll get a job. So these are some things. Yeah.
Very good. I had a next question, which you kind of answered already, which is based on our conversation. If I have to summarize, I can say Kaggle was that thing which
Yeah.
helped you become ML engineer, even with mechanical engineer background, correct? So
Yep.
Kaggle for you, and I think for many people, it's very, very important thing. So
So
you,
Kaggle is a life changing opportunity for anyone coming from a non CS background who wants to showcase themselves, because as a fresher you do not have a lot of stuff to showcase, right? You
hmm,
do not get a lot of opportunity to showcase yourself. It is either competitive data science or your
hmm,
own projects.
hmm,
But your own projects also, do not get traction from time to time. Your project would
hmm,
be good, but there will be less people to see it.
hmm,
So in order to showcase yourself, Kaggle is a very very good platform where you meet, and you participate with the world's best, and they kind of share things. So you're just blown of how they think,
hmm.
and after 6 months, you try to mimic them, and you are in the process, and then everything changes.
Nice. And if you can, I think, participate in Kaggle competition as a group as well, correct? You can have
Yeah.
buddies like group. So I have a
Yeah.
Discord channel, by the way. The description below contains a link. It has a partner and group finder channel. So you can go there and you can find partners. If you're not finding local partners, find some partners online and participate as a group. So that way you don't feel like you are alone and you kind of get a help on various things that you're doing in your competition. Do you have any other Kaggle tips? I know you talked about a lot of useful Kaggle tips, but in general, you are very successful on Kaggle. What are some of the tips? Like if you have any additional tips that you want to share?
So yeah, like, my Kaggle journey has also been full of ups and downs. Like, I did good in the start, then in the middle it kind of flattened up, and I was not doing that good. But then I found a few very good people which whom I like to mention here, who are like my inspiration. So one is Shivam Bhaiya, who works at Microsoft, and
Hmm,
he has been my constant motivator. And the other is Nishchay, who is junior to me, but he just
hmm,
uh, he is very very good at Kaggle. And so these are the two person that have been driving me. So what I would like to say is that at the start you will feel alone. Like, you will or you will obviously feel alone, because at the start you have not showcased yourself, and you are just going there, and you cannot just ask people to team up with you, right? Because you need to show that you have potential in order to attract people, right? So in the start it would be a tough road, I guess. But in the start, if you just go on with the 3 points that I suggested, and you take part in a single competition alone, and even show that you are capable of now writing good code, and you are publishing that code, then you are attracting people to yourself, that okay, this person was very involved in that competition, now he's coming in this competition, and he showcased great code there, he showcased great ideas there. Maybe if you get the right person, and if you get the right hardware, or if you get the right things, he can do good. And then you start to make friends, and then you start to make very good friends, and they motivate you, they help you. So this is how something starts, right?
Hmm.
At the start you are alone, and then when you're constantly doing good stuff, people come along with you. And so yeah, that is something I would like to say, that don't get discouraged at the start. Just go in, write some notebooks, learn from the notebooks, participate in the competition alone, and I promise you there won't be a lot of competitions that you will be participating in alone in the future.
Hmm. Very good tips, actually. And if people want to connect with you, I'm going to share your LinkedIn in the description below. So is that fine? Like, can people
Yeah, yeah,
use your
sure.
LinkedIn? Great. Uh, I think that's all like the questions I had for you. Are there any final remarks that you want to share here?
So as a final remark, what I have wanted to do is, share my journey with the community, and also I've been thinking of writing blogs as well. But since doing Kaggle with my office, is a hard thing to do, so that's why I'm not able to do that. But as soon as, like, my only dream right now is to become a Kaggle competitions grandmaster, and
Hmm.
as soon as I become that, after that I'll just start contributing to the community, sharing more blogs,
Hmm.
intermediate blogs about how things work, blogs about Kaggle and everything. So I'm really glad that you invited me here, and I would feel lucky to share my journey at such a platform.
Thank you very much for your time. I think your tips, especially the Kaggle tips, are going to be very, very beneficial, especially for those people who are in mechanical, electrical, like non-com science background. Maybe they will use these tips to make a successful career in data science. So thank you very much once again for spending the time. Everyone, I have mentioned all the important links in the video description, so please go check it out. Thank you.